If you search YouTube on the term transparent phones, the results range from concept ideas to attempts to make your normal phone transparent to kits you can buy to replace the non-transparent rear cover of your phone with a transparent version. Today, I want to make my own transparent phone, but not in any way found on the YouTube search results. To see how I do this, stay tuned. I decided to do this video more like an experiment than as a how-to video. Though you will see the simple process I'm testing to make the rear cover of a smartphone clear, I'm still not sure at this time if it'll work. So, let's get started. My phone of choice for this experiment is the iPhone 4S. The reason I chose this phone is mostly because of all the phones that have rear glass covers, the iPhone 4S is one of the easiest to remove. Also, the rear cover on this particular phone is already cracked, so botching this experiment won't really be a loss. I've had very little experience with removing the rear glass, and from what I've experienced so far, removing the rear glass without damaging it can be 90% of the battle, hence why I chose the iPhone 4S. I'll remove the two pentalobe screws at the bottom, which should allow me to slide the rear glass cover towards the top of the phone, and I can then lift it off of the frame. There are some sheets of something on the inside of the cover, but I'm not going to remove them. I want to see if the next step will remove them along with the paint, which is what I really want to remove to produce the clear cover. What you see here is a tub of lacquer thinner that I'm going to let the cover soak in for maybe an hour, after which I'll check on it to see how things are looking. It took a while before I realized there was a glass back glued to the frame I had removed. By poking one of my thin pry tools between the frame and the glass, I was able to separate the glued pieces. It didn't look like the lacquer thinner helped any with removing the painted glass, so I'm going to try something else. Okay, after testing many different solvents and finally putting a flame to the glass, I was able to remove what seemed like a ceramic coating over the paint. Once that was removed, the paint on the glass came off easily with paint stripper. I'm going to repeat this process with a good phone now, so you can see all the correct steps in order from beginning to end. I've already removed the glass back from the new phone, and the first thing I'm doing is removing the frame the glass is attached to using a stovetop set to high, then reduced to medium after 1 minute. I'm going to see what happens if I use a razor to loosen the edges while using a suction plier to pull both sides apart from the center. To remove the lens from the glass, I heated the lens with my mini iron and it popped right out. I want to remove any plastic and rubber parts to avoid damage from the high heat I'm going to use in the next step. In this step, because of the ceramic coating, I'm using a torch to heat it up and scrape the glass. This part is really sketchy. You need to heat the glass, but if you do it too much, it will shatter. I've done this once already on the practice piece, so I sort of know not to hold it to the flame for more than a split second. Light swipes over the flame followed by scraping. Now that I've removed the ceramic coating, the paint stripper will have an easier time removing the paint while leaving the Apple logo and lettering intact. I'll let the paint stripper sit for an hour before removing it. After the paint stripper, there were quite a few patches of black, so I used the torch once more to do a little more scraping, then did the paint stripper one more time. Here you see all of my attempts at getting the glass clear. My first attempt was this test one that already had a cracked glass, and was where I learned to not use too much heat with the torch. My second attempt was where everything went well up until I decided to polish the glass to finish up and found that the polish will remove residual paint as well as the chrome logo and lettering. My third and last attempt was where everything came together and I have an almost ideal finished product. The chrome lettering took some work to clean up and still shows signs of the paint, but that was as good as I could get it. This video is meant to be a general reference of how to make the glass back of your phone clear. With that, I'm not going into too much detail on trimming the frame of the iPhone 4S because I feel the frame around the glass back, separate from the mid-frame of the phone, is a unique case. What you do is a personal preference and could be anything from nothing to 3D printing a completely new frame. Here's a time-lapse of exactly what I did to go from the stock frame to the modified version. If I had the ability, I think a really nice version to make would be a 3D printed one made of stainless steel or titanium. So what I thought would be one of the easiest phones to make clear ended up being probably one of the tougher ones when you consider Apple covers the easy to remove paint with a not so easy to remove ceramic-like substance that can only be heated and or scraped off. I did achieve my goal of finding an easy process to make a phone clear, although depending, it may or may not be as easy as just soaking it in solvent for an hour and you're done. So even though it took heat to scrape that coating off, I don't think I'll be doing that if I worked on a more modern phone. I'll test this again using other phones, but I feel like the paint stripper is the most you'd need, and even lacquer thinner should be enough. Of course, the occasional hot iron might be helpful too. I hope this video helps you with your phone customizing ideas. Leave your questions and comments in the comment section below. That's all I have for now, and I'll catch you in the next video.